Hi everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today is the start of a new vlog. This challenge is started by Vanessa from Read with Dr. V. Technically, it started yesterday. However, I needed that day to finish my book club book for tomorrow, which is Monday, because we have a live show. So now that that is done, I can start doing this challenge now. She counts like how many pages have been read during the day, and then she carries it over into the next day. And the challenge ends on the 31st, midnight our time. So I figured I would try and fit as many Book of the Month books into the challenge as possible. And what I did was I put all of my Book of the Month books into a spinner wheel. So that way it's more random and more fun to choose. So I'm going to shuffle a few more times to make sure it's well and truly shuffled. And we are ready to spin. So here is my wheel. And here we go. Not sure why there's no noise. The Lost Story. Okay. This is a short book. Let me go grab that and I will be right back. Alright, so I have The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. Not sure how you pronounce that. But this should be a fairly quick book for me to read, since it's not that many pages. Let's see, how many pages does it have exactly? I know it's not too many. 322 pages. I could easily get that done, probably in the afternoon, if not shorter. And this is inspired by the Chronicles of Narnia, so I am very excited to dive on into the story. At some point, I am going to Starbucks this afternoon, so if I don't, well, actually, I don't know if I'll take the book with me when I go, but if not, I'll definitely get right back into reading it whenever I get back. So I am very excited to dive on into a story that's inspired by Chronicles of Narnia, because I've never read the Chronicles of Narnia, but I've seen the first movie. So I am excited to see what my thoughts are going to be on this book. So I'll try and update you guys when I can, and I will be back once I have something for you guys. It is now almost 2:15 going into Monday. I was going to do a update earlier at midnight because each day you go by page count. So the first day I did 161 pages, but I wanted to keep going in the story because I was interested to see like what was going to happen. So I just finished The Lost Story, and this was really, really cute. I really enjoy the Narnia-esque fantasy world that they had going on, and the relationship between Rafe and what's his name? Jeremy, that's it. I just finished this book. I should know the names, but but their relationship is so cute, and I love Emily, and just the whole story was just gave me fairy tale vibes, and it was the cutest thing ever. Like, I was curious to see if how the ending was going to go, and it was completely unexpected. Not what I thought was going to happen, but I'm hoping because of that ending there might be a sequel. Because if there's a sequel, I want to read it, because this was a really fun time. I really had so much fun reading this. I didn't really want to put it down. So even though it wasn't quite a 5-star, but I really enjoyed it enough, I gave it a 4-star. Sorry, if I sound a little bit under the weather, it's because I am. Not sure if it's allergies or not. Could be. I'm not sure if I'm coming down with something. I hope not. But if you hear me cough or sniffly, that's because that's why. But now that we're done with The Lost Story, and I total up my page count so far for today because we're in a new day, So even though I read 161 pages the first day, I read 161 pages already into the second day. So now that this is done, I'm going to spin for my next book. See what next book of the month book we are going to be reading next. I'm going to shuffle this a few more times. All right. And here is the wheel, and we're going to spin again. I cannot read from here. Reading backwards is hard. Ooh, spells for forgetting. Okay. Looks like that's gonna be our next book. So let me go grab that and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. And I have never read a single book by this author yet, but I've heard nothing but great things about her books. I haven't really heard hardly anything bad. And everything I've heard has been either good or really, really, really good. So I am excited to dive into my first Adrienne Young book. I don't know much about this except that there is magical realism, I believe. And I think there's a bit of a mystery. I don't know much except for that. So I'm going into this mostly blind. However, because it is like 2:15 in the morning, I'm going to go get some sleep. And then I will start this probably when I wake up. Because hopefully some sleep will help me feel better. So I'm going to hold on to this and start this when I wake up. And I will hopefully give you guys an update once I've read some a little bit later. So I will keep you guys updated when I have something. So I will see you all then. Hi everyone, it is now 12:15 in the morning, going into Tuesday. I just finished Spells for Forgetting. I had to submit my page count at midnight, and I didn't quite finish right when I wanted to at midnight. So I submitted a total of 488 pages for the day, and then I read 19 pages to finish this book for the new day. And it was a very interesting story and not at all what I expected. This is my first from this author, and I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I had a lot of problems with a lot of these characters, and that ending was a lot to be desired. I wasn't crazy about how it ended. I wanted justice, and I did not get justice at all. So I was kind of annoyed by that. So, I mean, it was okay. So it was kind of middle of the road, and because I just did not like the ending and the characters, I had such a hard time with them that I think I'm going with a 3-star on this one, which is sad. I wanted to really love this book, and some of the magical realism was interesting, and what really happened at the end with Lily was not what I expected. I mean, I get it. It made sense in some weird way, but for me, it didn't hit, unfortunately. So it was a 3-star. But now it's time to pick what our next book of the month book is going to be. I'm going to shuffle up this wheel a little bit. We're going to spin for the next one. All right. I shuffled it a few times. Here's our wheel, and here we go. It's a lot of words that I can't read from back here. It says, "Oh, The God of the Woods" by Liz Moore. Not what I was expecting. Huh. Alright, so let me go grab that book, and I will be right back. I am back, and I have The God of the Woods right here. And I know it's about A missing kid. I heard it originally, it was supposed to be a thriller, and then I heard rumors that it was mismarketed, and it's not an actual thriller. It's more like a family drama. But I'm still here for it, and I've heard really, really good things about the story. So this will be my first time reading a Liz Moore book. I actually unhauled the last one that I had. I didn't think I was ever going to read it. But I love stories with missing kids, so I'm interested to see how this one's going to go for me. This is a family drama. Now, I don't really read a lot of those, but I'm here for it. I'm ready to give it a shot. So it is kind of late. I might read a little bit and then probably get some sleep. So I will give you guys an update later on once I got a good chunk of the way through. So I will see you all then. It is now Tuesday at almost 6:15 in the evening, and I just finished The God of the Woods. I spent a couple of hours reading till like 2:30, almost 3 in the morning, and then I continued the book when I woke up this morning and just finished it. And this took me on a whirlwind of a mystery. I did some of the stuff that happened I did not see coming. Um, and I really enjoyed the story overall. However, the ending kind of left a lot to be desired. I mean, we do kind of find out stuff, but the way it ended, I just didn't feel satisfied with it. I felt like something was missing. That spark. Like this was kind of flat, I guess you could say. It didn't really give me that wow moment. But I did enjoy the story. There's a lot of point of views and a lot of timelines. And I know some people don't like that, but I actually didn't mind it. I liked a lot of the different storylines, and then reading them all together was very interesting. And the female investigator, Judith, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I really liked her. So I think she was my favorite. And the way she put everything all together, she did a great job in following the mystery and putting everything, and solving everything and finding out what really happened. And I love that this took place in the 70s. Not just the 70s, so we had timelines from the 1950s all the way up to the 1970s. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Even though the ending wasn't my favorite, I still enjoyed the book. So solid 4 stars. I definitely will check out her other book, Long Bright River. I know I unhauled it to my fiance Ray's aunt a while back, but now I'm interested. I did find the audio, however, so I might check out the audio of it at some point. Because this was a really fun story. I had a good time. I like slow burn mysteries. So now that this is over, we are going to spin for our next book. Let me shuffle. Whoop. Didn't mean for that to happen. Oh, all right. I shuffled quite a bit. So now it is time to spin and see what we're going to read next. So here we go. And I can never. Oh, I think, does that say Bloodguard? It does. Okay, cool. I've been wanting to read this, so I'm very excited. Let me go grab that book. It's right over there. I will be right back. So here it is, Bloodguard by C.C. Robson. And I also love this edition because it has the beautiful sprayed edges. This is the first book or book of the month that actually did sprayed edges. And I hope they continue to do it because it's a lot cheaper to get sprayed edge editions on Book of the Month than it is to buy in the actual store. So that's exciting. Plus, I have been wanting to read this for over a year and a half almost. Ever since this book was announced, I was so excited to get it. Except they kept pushing the date like quite a few times. First, they pushed it to February, then they pushed it to June, and then they finally pushed it to October, and then October of this past year, and it finally came out. So I'm excited to finally dive into this book. I know it's gladiator inspired, fantasy romance, and I love that this edition also has these end pages. I love the end pages. But I'm super excited. I finally get to read this book. I've heard really mixed reviews. Like, a lot of people don't like it more than like it, which is sad to hear, but I'm hoping that won't be the same way for me. So I'm very excited to dive on in. So I'm going to get started and figure out what we're going to do for dinner. And I will read some more and I will keep you guys updated once I've read some. So I will be back later. Hi everyone, it is now 7:15 on Wednesday. So I need to update you guys on my reading from yesterday. Yeah, from yesterday. And I did 555 pages yesterday. And because not only did I finish the book, but I started Bloodguard, as you remember from when we spun for this book. And I started it last night. I stayed up for a couple of hours after we picked it so I could read a little bit. And I just finished the book. And I will tell you the total of pages that I read today, probably tomorrow. We're going to choose a new book for me to start reading now after I talk about this one. And then I will give you all the details on my pages for today, tomorrow. But I just finished Bloodguard. And this is violent as all heck. So if you're not good with violence and the brutality of violence, I'd stay away from this book because there's a lot of it. And I mean a lot. So if you don't do well with blood, I probably wouldn't read this book. However, if you don't mind it and you don't mind a ton of fighting and all the violence that goes into it, this will be the book for you. I actually, surprisingly, enjoyed it more than I thought I would. At first, I wasn't sure, but mostly because the romance I felt happened a little bit too quick. It kind of fell for each other like pretty quick, like almost right off the bat. I felt like that could have been stretched out a little bit longer. However, this book is brutal in all the best ways, and so much happens. Like, the action is action packed. I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers for those who do want to read this. I mean, I could see why some people weren't crazy about it because of the violence, probably. It's huge on violence, like, no joke. But, I mean, if you like watching the gladiator type movies, I think you would like this book. I never saw the movies like with gladiators in it. But this is my first gladiator book. And it was a crazy time, let me put it that way. But all the plot twists, I'm like, wait, what? 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 The plot twists were crazy up in here. Like, I did not see them coming. And there was also a lot of sad moments as well. Because of some of the deaths that happened. I was very sad during those. But I really was fascinated by this world and how everything got put together. And I don't know if there's going to be a sequel. I mean, the way it ended, it could stand as a standalone. I don't know if the author is going to continue and make it into a series, but if she does, I am so here for it. Plus, I could easily see this as a movie. So if this was ever adapted, I would definitely check it out. But I had so much fun, and I love the characters. I love there's also LGBTQIA representation in here because the main girl has two dads, which I love that. And the main girl, she is badass. She is awesome. And Leith is also badass. And I just really like the two of them together. I just felt like the relationship was a little bit rushed, in my opinion. But I still had like such a fun time. So if the author ever continues, like with his world, I am so in. So I think I would give this a solid 4 stars. It would have been a 5-star if the relationship wasn't too rushed. But that is it for Bloodguard. Now that that is over, we are going to spin for our next book. So let me pull up the spinner wheel and see what we're going to read next. Let me just shuffle it a few times. All right. And it's ready for us to spin. So here's our wheel again. And let's see what's up next. And I can't read it from back here. What does that say? How to End a Love Story. Okay, I can do that. Let me go find that book and I will be right back. So here it is, How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwan. I think it's how you pronounce it. I don't know much about it except that it's romance and the main girl is a best-selling author. And I don't really know much else. I think her book is like being adapted or something like that. And then um the main guy I believe is a screenwriter. So I think he's helping to adapt her book. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm excited to dive into a romance. Like we have a wide variety of genres this week. I'm loving like the wide like all the different genres that I'm going through just in this week alone is amazing. I did not see this coming. So what have we had so far? We've had we had a fairy tale, magical realism, family drama / mystery, and medieval romance. Well, fantasy medieval romance, and now a regular romance. So that's like 5. Yeah, it's like 5 different genres almost, which is amazing. I love all these new, like, that the wheel's giving me all these different genres. So this is fun. So I am excited to start. I will be starting as soon as I get off of filming this clip because I have definitely been wanting to read this for a while and just haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And tomorrow I'll be giving you my page count for today. And then at the very end of the week, I will total everything up and tell you how many pages in total I read for this challenge. And so far, I am at the head of the pack. So I'm excited to see what this week has in store for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started reading, and I will see you guys later. All right, guys. So I have a confession to make. It is 4:15 in the morning Thursday, and I stayed up way too late. I probably shouldn't have, but this book had me in a chokehold. I could not put it down. I had to know it was going to happen. So I literally just finished this book. Literally. Like, and I need to talk about it, even though it's so late. Like, these characters are everything. Like, everything they've been through with what happened with Helen's sister and her family situation and the whole thing with Grant. Like, ugh, I could not get it off. Like, this story is everything. I really related to Helen in a lot of ways. Not with the issue with what happened with her sister, not in that capacity, but with her family after the fact. I totally understood where she was coming from in a lot of ways. And Grant, the stuff that he went through after what happened with Helen's sister, like, that was tough. And how they managed to, like, it took them so long to, like, go through all the feelings and how the ending comes about. Like, I could not get enough. Literally, I stayed up so long because I was loving this book so much, and I could not put it down. This is an easy 5 stars, if not 6 stars. Actually, I think I'm gonna give this 6 stars. Like, holy cow, what a book. It was devastating. It was I don't even know how to put this book into words, really. It was that incredible. This might be a new favorite of the year. I think romance is like is I think I'm in my romance era right now because every romance book that I read, for the most part, I've absolutely loved. And this book is no different. Honestly, more people should be reading this book. And I will shout to the rooftops, you need to read this book. Like, I was totally invested and I did not want to put it down, which is why I stayed up so darn late. Now I do need to go to bed, but first I want to give you guys a page update since I never give you guys a page update from yesterday. So, yesterday I did a total of 440 pages. And then coming into today, I've already done 252. So who knows how many pages I'll end up reading by the end of tonight. So I'm sure I am on my way to probably having like a record with how many pages I'm reading this week. It's not even funny. Well, I've also been sick, so I've had a lot of time on my hands. But I am a little better than what I was. I'm not completely there yet, but I'm better. So hopefully the medicine I've been taking helps me, get better sooner. But I figured we might as well spin for our next book since, I'm awake. However, I'm not gonna continue reading. I think I'm gonna finally get some sleep, considering how late it is. And then I'll start my next book later on. But I figured I'd spin and find out what that book is first with you guys. So here's our wheel. Oh wait, I forgot to shuffle. Give me just a minute. I didn't shuffle. Whoops. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. All right. Now it's time to spin. So let's do this again, shall we? And here we go. So they survived the night. Did I read that backwards right? Yep, that's survived the night. All right, so I'm gonna go grab that book from the other room real quick, and I will be right back. All right, so I have Survived the Night by Riley Sager, which will be my next book. So we have another mystery thriller. And this one is rather short, only like 322 pages. I just checked. And I have not heard very good things about this book at all. I've read a lot of people say it's one of their worst Riley Sagers and one of their worst books. So it makes me a little bit nervous going into this one. However, it's a fast read, and I'm hoping I could definitely finish this fairly quickly once I wake up later. So I know quite a few of my friends have told me they hated this book. So that makes me very nervous. I'm hoping I don't have the same reaction to it as they did, but we will see. I mean, I've read a lot of Riley Sager. The only books I haven't read from him is this one and Final Girls, and his new book coming out this year. I will try his new book coming out this year, by the way, with a Vengeance, I believe it's called. It'll be my last make it or break it, so, with Riley Sager. Because I've only loved one book from him. So, well, we will see how this one goes. However, I am going to sleep now, and I will pick this book up later, and I'll let you know all my thoughts once I finish this. So I will catch you guys later on today. Hi everyone. It is now about 4:40 in the afternoon on Thursday. I just finished Survive the Night. It was only 322 pages, so I was able to get through it fairly quickly. Well, for most of the book, I was really enjoying it. I know a lot of people don't like this book. One of the main reasons being the gaslighting. But that's the part that I love the most about it, because you don't know what is real and what is fake. And for most of it, I was digging it. However, the ending just seemed wrong to me. I guess in a way it could kind of make sense, but at the same time, it just didn't feel realistic. And I wasn't crazy about what went down and who the campus killer really is. I mean, I wasn't too surprised by who the campus killer really is, but the reasoning behind it I felt was so weird. I just felt like it didn't really make sense. It didn't really add up to the rest of the book. The ending was just completely off for me, and I was like, this sucks. I was really hoping to like it because I was really enjoying it until that ending. And that kind of ruined the book for me a little bit. So I guess this will probably be like a 3.5 star. So I had a great time for most of the book. It was just the end I wasn't crazy about. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 3.5 stars on this. Unfortunately, GoodReads doesn't do half stars, so I'll probably give it a 3 on GoodReads and just say it's a 3.5. It could have been, the ending I felt like could have been a lot better. But, that's over now. So now we get to spin for our next book. Let me shuffle. Will be a little bit. Find out what my next book is going to be. All right. I just shuffled up the wheel a few times. Here is our wheel. And now to find out what our next book is. Is that the last one at the wedding? Yep, the last one at the wedding. I was right. Cool. I'm actually excited for this one because I really wanted to read this. Let me go grab the book and I'll be right back. All right, so here it is. The last one at the wedding, my last one at the wedding, I can't talk today, by Jason Recklock. And I'm really excited to read this. I read Hidden Pictures by this author and really enjoyed that. So I am super excited to dive into his newest book. I meant to read this in December, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I am excited to finally dive on in. And this is another mystery thriller. So I am n- not mad about it, that's for sure. All I know is that it's about this guy named Frank, and he gets a phone call from his daughter saying she's getting married and she wants him to walk her down the aisle. So they've were in an estrangement, but he finally gets to see if he could make up for that, come to his daughter's wedding, and see her get married. But things are not as they seem, and weird things are happening, and they're trying to figure out what his daughter's fiance, like there's warning signs with a fiance and all kinds of other things going on. So I'm excited to see what this is going to be like. In some ways, it kind of gives me vibes of the Family Game by Catherine Stedman, but I'm hoping that this will be better than the Family Game because the Family Game was kind of weird. But I'm excited to give this one a go, and I'm really hoping I'm going to love it because I loved Hidden Pictures by this author. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm probably gonna go take a shower first because I need one, and I'm hoping it'll help me clear up my sinuses a little bit. Mainly, that's really why I wanted to take a shower because I've been stuffy and I want to get rid of this cold. So I'm gonna take a shower and then dive on into this book. I'm hoping, since it's not a very long book, I could get this done today. Let me see how many pages it actually has. It doesn't seem like too many, I think. Yeah, there's only 335 pages, which is almost as long as Survive the Night was, but slightly bit longer. So not too. So I think I could get this done fairly fast today. So I'm going to go do all the things, and I'll be back with an update later on, either once I'm finished with the book, or whenever I have something to talk about. So I will see you guys later. Hi, everyone. It is now almost 1 in the morning, going into Friday, and I do have a couple of updates for you. First, let me tell you about my page count for Thursday. I did 835 pages in one day. Probably the best I have ever done. So I'm very proud of myself. But I also just finished The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Reckloff. This was a lot different from Hidden Pictures. This is like strictly thriller. There's no horror to it whatsoever. However, I wish there was a horror element. That would have been kind of cool. But I still had a great time with the story. And it gave me a lot of vibes from The Family Game by Catherine Stedman, but with a twist, which I really enjoyed. It was a very interesting family dynamic concept that was going on in this book. And the main guy, Frank, his daughter, is something. I don't want to spoil anything, but she's something, all right. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, you have to read this book. I could not put this down. I needed to know what was going to happen next. And it was so close to being a 5-star, but it didn't quite get the 5-star vibes. And also, the last few pages of the book, I felt were completely unnecessary. Like, that didn't add anything to the story for me. I felt like it could have ended the way that it did without those last few pages. Well, for the most part. I mean, an epilogue would have been, detailing the aftermath. It would be a little bit better than what we actually got. But I had a great time with this story. So solid 4 stars. And I would definitely read more from this author when he puts out any more books. Now it is time to spin for our next book. So let me shuffle up the wheel. Get that ready. A few more times. All right. And here is our wheel. And let's find out what our next book is. Ooh, is that what I think it is? Is that the favorites? Please tell me it is. Yes, it's the favorites. I'm so excited this came up because I was really hoping this book would come up in this challenge because I really wanted to read this. I'm excited. All right, let me go grab that book. I will be right back. All right, I am back and I have The Favorites here by Elaine Fargo. I am so excited. This was the next book that was selected on the wheel because I just got this book this month and I've been hearing really, really great things about it. I don't think I've heard a single bad review yet. And it's like a documentary style book about these two people who grew up skating together. And then some big shocking thing happened with them. And several years later, it's their anniversary and a documentary is happening. And they're going to spill all. So I'm very excited because I love stories with like documentaries in them. So I am super excited to dive on into this. Ooh, I think there's Ooh, yeah, there's interviews. Cool. All right. I am hyped for this. And since I am not quite tired yet, I might save this a little bit longer to read. So I want to get a head start on this. And I'm super excited, as I said. So I'm going to dive on in and hopefully I'll have an update for you sometime, probably later during the day when it's not the middle of the night. So I will see you guys later. I am back with my final update for this challenge. I am 3 hours away from the challenge being over, and I don't think I'm going to fit any more books in because I just finished a book, and I think it's going to be my last because literally this challenge is going to be over in 3 hours. So, since I don't think I can fit another book in a 3-hour time frame, I'm going to give you all my stats for the whole week, and then I will talk about the book. So, for day 1, I did 161 pages. That was Sunday. Monday, day 2, was 488 pages. Day 3 was 555 pages. Day 4 was 440 pages. Day 5 was 835 pages. And today, the last day, day 6, was 508 pages. I totaled all that up for a grand total, of 2,987 pages, which is super close to 3,000. So I did a really good job this week of reading so many pages. I'm very proud of myself. But now let's talk about the book, shall we? I just finished The Favorites, and oh my god, I am like obsessed with this book. Can I give this infinity stars? Because I seriously would give this infinity stars. Like, I've never read Elaine Fargo before. This is my first, and I'm officially obsessed. I need to read more of her books. I absolutely devoured this. I did not want to put this down. I was addicted to the characters. I was addicted to the addiction of their relationship. I was addicted to like the interviews, everything. I was obsessed. And that ending, I started crying. I mean, it was such an ending that I did not quite see coming, but it really fit the story and the characters and the vibe. Like, even though I didn't see it coming, I completely get it. And it's the most realistic ending I've ever read in a book. I said that before about Paige Toon and her books, but this is right up there with Paige Toon. Like, this was fabulous. I just cannot say how great this book is, and that everybody needs to read it. I even got my fiance to download the audio. he started it, but he needs to continue because I told him, you need to read this book. So, and I'm telling all of you guys, you need to read this book because it is fabulous. You go through all the feels from anger to love to sadness. Like, literally every emotion you could think of is in this book. And I felt it all the feels. It was everything. I'm literally obsessed. I want to go buy the rest of her books now. But, like, yeah, Infinity Stars, without a doubt. I think this is probably the best book from this whole week. And I thought How to End a Love Story was amazing. This is even better. Like, seriously. So if you've never read The Favorites, I highly recommend going to read it because it's the best. I'm obsessed. I can't stop saying how obsessed I am with this book and these characters. And I just, like, everything. So realistic. And I love the documentary aspect. That was great, too. So, this was the last book of this challenge, sadly. I wish I could read more. However, the last 3 hours left, I don't see it happening. I mean, I am a fast reader and all, but even the smaller books would take me at least 5 hours. And I don't have that kind of time left in this challenge. But this was such a fun challenge. So I'm really happy Vanessa started this challenge. And it was so much fun. I can't wait until she does this again because I'm always going to have Book of the Month books. Plus, I have my February box coming to me very soon. I think it's coming next week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that is everything I have for this vlog. I hope you had a great time with me. It was a blast. And I got some new favorite books that I want to share with everybody. So if you like this vlog, make sure you give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. And I will see you all in the next one.